teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway. Knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a real Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out their chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Let it tumble for the snow, we still gon' break roads. If we win the point flip, we choosing to kick. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the link with our smash mouth D's. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway.
What's up, my football degenerates? It's the Panda and Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly. I'm waiting on Tank to come on, but while I figure while I'm doing that, might as well talk about some football stuff. Dude, this is a wild week 13. People getting hurt. I don't know if you saw Monday Night Football last night with Trevor Lawrence. I didn't know what to expect, and then when you saw him get stepped on, when his ankle gets stepped on, all I thought about was all the fantasy owners that are going into the playoffs, knowing Trevor Lawrence's ankle is hurt. This is crazy. This season is crazy. The AFC is nuts. I don't know if there's a great team in there at all. We got the Dolphins who can score a lot of points, but hasn't beat anyone tough. We got the Mahomes with the Chiefs who can't do anything because the receivers can't catch. So I don't know how he can do those things. I mean, then you have the entire AFC North who don't have quarterbacks besides the Ravens, and the Ravens that can't do anything at the end of the game. I don't know. This AFC is going to be nuts. The NFC, we have one true champion. You see the 49ers, and they put it down on everybody. They were crazy. That was nuts. So, I mean, it's just, a very cool week 13, and it was so relaxing for us. As Bears fans, you didn't have to worry about Justin not finding the receiver, or Eberflus, messing up on the defense, or Getsy calling 18,000 screens. We could just watch football and look at the teams around the NFL. And when I looked at the other teams, they're in almost as much shambles as we are. So I couldn't believe. I literally saw that little picture about us being in the hunt. I was like, we're 4-8. We started the season 0-4, and we're in the hunt. That's exactly what we got. What's up, Bob Dole? You're in here. Appreciate you. Yeah, the focus on the picture. I know. I'll update the picture a little later. I'm out Christian Kirk and Jonathan Taylor right now in the playoffs. I'm out Jonathan Taylor. Christian Kirk is not on my team on that one. I lost Joe Burrow. That killed me right there. I've lost so many running backs. It's been just walking wounded, and you have to figure out who you can pick it up on the waiver wire, and that's all I've been doing. I've been sitting around studying the waiver wire, seeing who I can grab. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting guys, but I couldn't believe what I was watching this entire week. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there still that can help your team. So I don't know. I'm going to start actually with quarterback. Let's see. We got Martin. I placed my bet. Tank walks in at 27:32. Halfway through the show, Tank's going to walk in. We'll see. That means that gives him 19 minutes. You might be close, man. You might be close. So I'm actually going to start with the quarterbacks this week because Gardner Minshew was doing his thing. He's been doing this thing for a while, and I think it's time for us to or specifically me, to say and give him his flowers. He's been doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's thrown for over 2,200 yards. He's averaging almost 200 yards a game, 10 touchdowns. He loves Michael Pittman Jr. He loves Josh Downs. Alec Pierce has become a fantasy relevant player, all because of Gardner Minshew. So I am going to give you your flowers. You are doing your thing. I can't believe when I watch with him. I mean, Well, he had 312 yards and 2 touchdowns this past game and went into overtime. Dude, that's nuts. That's almost as nuts as seeing what happened from Jake Browning. I could not believe Jake Browning was doing all this stuff for the Cincinnati Bengals. He threw over 350 yards. And, it's funny because they started off the game by this nickel and diming, doing a lot of screens. I thought I was watching the Bears offense. It was terrible. And then all of a sudden, he just opened up and he hit that 76-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase. Beautiful throw. And then ever since then, he was just on target. He was hitting everybody. I think he had 32 or 37 or something like that. Was nuts for 354 yards. If you're in a tough place, maybe you need to go look at the Jake Browning. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals are still in the playoff hunt now after that game. And being the Jaguars are a tough team. They have a good defense. They have a lot of talent around. I don't know. Maybe Cincinnati will be as good. They're still in that division where all 4 teams are great, and now they're 6-6. So that was a great game to watch. If you're any worse than that, then I don't know what to tell you. You're looking at Desmond Ridder or Jameis Winston. But those 2 are probably the best ones we could find if you're looking for a quarterback. Now me, who lost Jonathan Taylor for probably another 2 weeks, I need a running back help. I've been looking for running backs everywhere. I actually started Samaje Perine this past week, which was awful. I could not believe what I was doing. And he got me like 2 points. So that's what I deserve. If you don't have your running backs ready, and a lot of my backup running backs were Roshan, I had Khalil Herbert, Ty Chandler. I just had a lot of guys that you look for, but they didn't hit. So now this week I'm looking at Tajay Spears like, look at my chops, because it doesn't even matter if Derrick Henry's doing well, if he's running the ball, if he's getting the ball a lot. Tajay Spears is getting his touches now. I think this past game he had 75. What's up, Derpy? What's up? I think Tajay had 75 yards. He had long of 19. He was explosive. They're giving him the ball. Henry, everyone thought he was injured, but apparently he wasn't. So apparently he wasn't. And Tajay Spears is going to continue to get the ball as we get further and further into the season. I think he's a must add. If you have a chance, he is owned about 36%. But if you have a chance, grab him. My other ones, of course, I love Roshan Johnson. I think as we go further along, that he's going to be someone that's going to be a great player, especially if you're looking at Dynasty. He's someone you need to have in your taxi squad and give him a year to just develop. And next year, I could see him taking the whole thing because he's the best pass blocker. He's the best pass catcher. He's the best runner in the middle. And he has some explosion to him. So, with all those being part of it, he's someone Dynasty-wise you need to be looking at. But if you're in a deep, redraft league, Zeke. I've been saying Zeke for a couple of weeks now. Zeke's still doing his thing. He's not flashy, but he gets touchdowns. He gets extra minutes. And Ramondre Stevenson has been basically, always getting hurt. So with him having an ankle injury, he's probably gonna be sidelined for, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks. Going into your championship week or going to your playoffs, Ezekiel Elliott is probably a great add. It probably won't have a lot of projected points for you, but overall, you're going to see him being used because they can't throw the ball. Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones are jokes. So the only thing that New England can do is run the ball. That means Zeke gets a lot of opportunities. So I think that's a must add this week. Actually, for the rest of the season and for the playoffs going forward. And I also said I have Ty Chandler on one of my teams. Ty Chandler seems to be the more explosive running back. Madison gets the ball a lot, but Akers is gone. Akers is nothing. He doesn't get any carries. He doesn't get the ball at all. I think Ty Chandler is the guy that you should be looking for, and he could be a diamond in the rough. So especially we're all hurting our running back. That's someone you need to be looking at. And my last, well, I got two more because I'm an Illinois guy. See right here. So Chase Brown surprised me. I was surprised how much he was involved in the game plan. It seems like they wanted him in there a lot, and they trusted him. So I was very happy to see it. Chase Brown might be something in these deeper leagues. Kenneth Gainwell also keeps on getting the ball. I don't know. DeAndre Swift was the man, but all of a sudden he's just not getting the ball, and it's because he's a great pass catcher. I think he had 5 catches for 72 yards. So in the PPR, Kenneth Gainwell got you some points when you didn't see anything coming out of that game, and especially when DeAndre Swift got you nothing. So Kenneth Gainwell will be a great add-on for that. So those are the ones I'm looking at the most. And now, what do we do at wide receiver? Well, if you're a Tank Dell owner, like I am, 2 of my leagues, how do you get that production? I mean, Nico Collins is gone, so they're going to go to the next guy, and the next guy is Noah Brown. Noah Brown has been doing an excellent job already this season. He's only 40% owned. He's already at 439 yards when he is the 3rd and 4th option. Now that he's going to be the 2nd, Noah Brown's a must add. You need it, especially if you have CJ Stroud. If you have CJ Stroud, Noah Brown needs to be the next guy you're looking for. I think John Mechie should be the guy, but Noah Brown seems to be the guy that they like, and he's catching the ball, and he has production. So go for it. I think that's a great idea. As far as another guy would be, since Joe Flacco's back, he was the most competent quarterback I've seen the Browns in for a while. I know they got blown out, but he looked good. He threw the ball with some zip. He got to the open receivers. The offense actually looked like it could possibly be decent. I know the Rams ran right through them, but I think that says more to the defense being tired and less about Joe Flacco. So I think Joe Flacco could be a guy, which means Elijah Moore, who had 4 receptions and 83 yards, might be another fantasy relevant wide receiver. He does a lot of downfield shots. Joe Flacco throws a beautiful deep ball. So, that's someone else we could look for, especially, as I said, going to the playoffs. When we talk about deep threats, Jalen Hyatt from the Giants. What can you say? That's what he does. I think he had 5 receptions for about 109, 110 yards, something like that. He had 6 targets. They seem to like him. So, I think Hyatt is, a definite add, and especially in Dynasty, lock him up. Stash him away. And you're probably going to appreciate it next year because he's probably going to turn into their number 1 receiver. Most reliable, the fastest. And we said it on Dynasty Pylon. We talked about coming out of Tennessee that Jalen Hyatt might be a really good add. He might be something special for this Giants team who need receivers. So he had a really good game and could turn out to help you guys out. And I guess my last one's an older guy. Great name, but it's not owned a lot. It's 39% owned, and it's Odell Beckham Jr. And I know Martin's probably rolling his eyes right now. I could hear it right now because I'm talking about Odell, and he thinks he's too old. But with Mark Andrews out, Lamar Jackson likes to look for guys who are safe throws, and Odell can still catch the ball. So he's sufficient enough to start. He might increase in pass volume, and if Odell does, and the Ravens are going towards the playoffs, that's when Odell wants to play and show out. So I think the younger version of Odell will be a definite play, but this older version, I think is okay now that Mark Andrews is out. So he's going to be someone that we're going to be looking for. Now, if you're at tight end, it's slim pickings. It really is. Isaiah Likely, he said he's getting some receptions. He looks explosive. He's good with the ball. I think he had 6 targets and 40 yards or something like that. So PPR, he worked out well. And tight end is not someone that's going to be, most of these guys are not going to be killers. They're not going to get all these points. My only problem with Isaiah Likely is he doesn't get touchdowns. But we'll have to see who becomes the guy who gets all the touchdowns for the Baltimore Ravens going towards this playoff run. I don't know which one of them is going to be the great one, but We'll have to see. I did leave one person out, and this is someone that I wanted to add in my league, and I waited too long, and someone added them. Jameson Williams, Detroit, is the dude. He is going to be the second receiver. And explosive plays, touchdowns. I think week to week, you're going to see him do more and more and more. So Jameson Williams, I think, can really do a lot of things. He might only have 3 or 4 opportunities a game, but every time he touches that ball, there's a chance that he takes it to the house. Keep it up. Just watch it, guys. All right. We got Savor the Flavor. What's up? I'm glad you jumped in real quick. Zach Ertz might be an interesting pickup late, though he's in limbo and may already be owned. He might not be owned, so he's not owned as much as you would think he would. It is. I still like McBride, but if Zach Ertz goes to Philly, yeah. So the rumor is that he might be heading to Philly. I would love that. So you just gotta kind of watch, see what happens with him. These moves that you're making now for the next 2 weeks really are going to determine how far you go in the playoffs. You need to have depth. You need to have great guys that could help you, get you points when you don't see it. You gotta look at the matchups. That's something Martin always talks about. When I'm looking at the guy, I want to look at the matchup for them. Are they the number 1 or the number 2 receiver? Right? Are they going to get a lot of targets? Those things matter. So, I got to give them props. Going against the Cleveland Browns, I did not like any of the Rams players except for Kyren Williams. I thought Kyren Williams would be great. Puka got this thing. He had that 70-something yard reception. He got it, and again, I think a touchdown. So I think he went over 100 yards. Oh, he got hurt. He still did his thing and came back to the game. So they're kind of keen on Cup, and Puka did his thing. And Martin said specifically, I still take Puka. And he did a great thing. I don't think he's one of those things you're going to look for waiver wire, but there are guys that you're going to just love. Guys that brought you there, you stick with those guys that brought you there because they're going to continue to get all these balls, all these opportunities. So I love that part. All right. What's your bull with your Bears? Yeah. Looking at my offensive coordinator for your head coaching job. Hey, Airbnb, I couldn't believe it. The Bears are actually looking at Airbnb for head coach. They're going to probably interview him because it looks like Washington's looking somewhere else, which is really weird. You have the guy in-house and you don't want him. But I wonder, what does that mean for Justin Fields? Does that mean that they're looking to keep him? These are strange things, So when I look at, coaches that have done well with multiple quarterbacks, does that mean the team really likes Justin Fields? They want to keep him. They're not going to pay him this next year, but they might hold on to him, take Marvin Harrison number 1, build their defensive line or offensive line with that second pick, and then just kind of put a great team behind him. That's the Chicago way. That is a lot of things that I could see happening. But we want Harbaugh. Does Harbaugh like Justin Fields? Does Harbaugh want to take Caleb Williams, which I think he's overrated? Michael Penix Jr. Bo Nix. I don't like Bo Nix either. I think a lot of these quarterbacks coming out this year are flash in the pan, and they're the best of the situation. But I know a lot of analysts that say that those top 6 guys that are coming out this year would have been the top 6 guys last year, which is saying something, knowing what kind of player CJ Stroud is. Yeah, very interesting, very cool. I still believe that. So we have 5 games left for the Bears. I didn't want to stay so far in the Bears because I know this is our bye week and we're coming up on Detroit. But with these 5 games left, they have a good chance to be competitive in all 5, including the Detroit game. We saw last game that the Bears really almost won. They should have won that game. So with that going on, and you're looking at the schedule coming forward, And they give me no reason to believe in them. But isn't that exactly the time when they start to do something? So I think this week is very interesting for the Bears because if they could beat Detroit, Cleveland, Joe Flacco doesn't scare you, does he? Arizona, you don't know what you're going to get from Arizona. Atlanta, Green Bay, could you win all those and knock those all off? Possibly. Could you? I don't see them losing all of them, but I can see them either going. I can see them going 2-3, 3-2, 4-1. And how does that change everything? It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. I got Saver in here. What do you say? The enemy interesting pickup. Also wondered if Harbaugh would get coaxed away from Michigan. I coaxed him away from Michigan. I can see him leaving Michigan. So I think there's going to be NCAA laying the hammer down on him for this cheating scandal. Because I mean, it's not really cheating. If you can have a videotape, you can watch these guys as long as it's not live. You can find out these same calls and everything. That's most of the time that's scouting. That's called scouting in the NFL. So if he wants to get away with that, and Michigan has the opportunity, if they could really beat Alabama, I think they beat any of the other two teams. Texas doesn't scare me with yours. I think their defense for Michigan will destroy them. And Washington is a good team. It's not a great team. And I think Michigan's coming from, after what they did at Ohio State, Ohio State is more talented than any of those other two teams. And I'm not sure if Alabama's ready to win. So Michigan has opportunity. So if Michigan wins it all, I can see Harbaugh riding off to the sunset and going back to the NFL, which he's been flirting with multiple times. That'll be very interesting. Yeah, the Saints roaring back still no get right since the Ravens. Yeah, I agree. Man, I don't know. I don't know exactly how this is going to work out. I don't know how it's even. These divisions are so tight. It is crazy. We got the AFC North, we got the NFC South. NFC South should give away their automatic bid. They should just give it away. I honestly believe that they don't deserve it, and they should just give it to the next best team. Speaking of the NFC South, I had Martin in here real quick. So I want to talk bad about his team before we could talk. So, yeah, Falcons suck. All right, here we go. What's up?
What up, man? Where's Tank?
Hey, you know as much as I do. I was like, all right. Luckily, I talk a lot anyway, so it just kind of worked out. I get to get all my other thoughts out.
It's hate when you're by yourself.
Yeah. But you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. But what's up, man? I mean, waiver wire today is slim pickings, and I heard some of the stuff you were saying, but damn.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys that you've been mentioning are pretty much almost like
the same guy
every week, and still people are leaving them out there, which is just nuts to me. I can't believe it.
How long we've been saying? I mean, Gardner Minshew. If you don't have a backup quarterback, you're going in without a backup quarterback, and he's still out there. What are you doing? If you have Michael Pittman Jr.,
you should easily be getting this guy.
Why he's not your backup quarterback? Like you should.
You should be.
He gives you so many points.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's weird because it's the same guys over and over again. We've been talking about Isaiah Likely for weeks. Jalen Hyatt, we've been saying since the beginning of the season, especially in Dynasty, why are you not grabbing this guy? Noah Brown, who's been doing great for all these weeks, and now you get this Tank Dell injury. Why don't you already have him? These are things that people should be jumping on. The one that did surprise me was Chase Brown. I didn't think he was going to be in their game plan as much as he was.
I mean, he wasn't supposed to be like utilized this year, but because of everything that's going on, it's like running backs just you kind of have to though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he was great at Illinois. He's one of the all-time leading rushers.
I think the fact that Because yesterday, man, Joe Mixon was just literally everywhere.
Yeah, he was,
What
and he was a monster.
what was his total? 19 carries or 19 attempts. So yeah, and then 7 targets.
Yep.
Of course, you're gonna end up using your backups.
Yeah, he needs a break. He needs a break, right?
Yeah, and then you have Chase Brown, which you mentioned, which is kind of utilized a lot more than we expected.
Yeah, way
So-
more. I was really surprised. You know, once again, as an Illinois guy, you know, right here, I liked him, but it's nothing special about Chase Brown.
Right. Not
you know?
yet.
But he was
Not yet.
involved a lot, and I think he could be. I think Joe Mixon is going to be a cap casualty eventually, and Chase Brown will end up being the dude. I just didn't think he was going to be playing now. What?
Right.
No,
But like I
that
said,
was
he's not nothing yet crazy. He's got some good weight to him because he is kind of like smallish.
Yeah, but he reminds me a lot of Pierre Thomas. So Pierre, who ended up playing for the Saints, ended up playing in the NFL for about 7 or 8 years.
Mhm.
Great balance, not great speed, but
Right.
a worker, a guy who's going to, he's a battering ram. So he's going to run and run. And eventually, he's going to break through. And he's kind of slender, and he's kind of, fits through the cracks. And I think he and his brother are both going to end up being NFL players, good starters in the NFL, for years, especially next year.
I agree.
Yeah, as that Saver said, 3 NFC North playoff teams, the rest of the league would riot. I don't see it ever happening, because no matter what, at the end of the season, I believe the Bears Packers game is going to be an elimination. Like only one of those teams could do anything.
Right.
But it's possible that the Bears could do what the Lions did last year and keep the Packers out, and both teams miss it because the Bears end up winning that game. And it might be, that could be win 7 or 8 or something like that for the Bears, and keeps the Packers out, which I would love because I hate everything Green Bay.
Green Bay ain't that bad. I kind of want to go to that stadium though, just to.
Oh no, it's beautiful.
I want to at least see a game there. But right now, I'm looking at the draft. If it ended right now,
Yep,
New England would be second.
Yep, which makes me ecstatic.
Yeah, I don't think you guys. I think you guys end up. Damn, that's so. You guys have to get Marvin Harrison.
But now you could trade back and get Marvin Harrison.
Why though? Why? Why you say that?
Because you want to get something out of the number 1 pick.
The Cardinals are going to grab him.
Yeah, so I think the Cardinals are going to continue to win games, and the Cardinals are going to end up being like the 5th pick.
Okay, but then that means the Washington Commanders will grab him.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to burn your 101 at Marvin Harrison.
Now, see, I think Washington already has 3 great receivers, right? Do they really go get Marvin Harrison Jr. or do they go get Bowers?
No, look, Washington has 3 great receivers that are 1 and 3s. And like Jahan Dotson could be a good 2.
Mm-hmm. I think Jahan Dotson is a good 2. I think
but I would get him because then you would have Terry, Dotson, and Harrison.
But you have a huge hole at tight end.
Who cares? They never used any of their tight ends anyways, it seemed like, because most of them are always hurt.
Oh, Brock Bowers, I know this is the first time that he's been hurt.
If you've had 3 solid receivers, you just put a dude as an extra lineman, and you just run off those 3.
So I'm looking actually at a CBS mock trade stuff. So it says that the Bears and the Patriots trade picks.
Which ones? The 1 and 2 or the
1 and 2? The 1 and 2. So the Patriots get Caleb Williams, allowing the Bears to pick up a second this year and a second next year, along with this number 1, and trade back and get Marvin Harrison right before Arizona.
Wait. So they trade the 1 and 2. So they trade the firsts.
Their first and then their second this year and the second next year
That's a lot.
for one spot.
That's a lot.
It's Caleb Williams. Do you want him? Or if you don't want him, I'll say I'll trade to that guy.
That's terrible. Caleb Williams is not. That's terrible.
You know,
So wait,
I
you're
don't. I
saying
agree with you.
the Pats would give up a 1, 2, and next year's 2?
Yeah, so they're switching the 1, and then they'll get a 2 this year and a 2 next year.
That's terrible.
Just to switch spots?
That's
for
terrible.
one spot because it's the number 1, and it's not about the spot as much as it is Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
think about it. I mean, the San Francisco
Jaden Daniels is probably going
went
to
from
end up
5,
being the best
jump to 5.
QB.
Yeah.
I like Michael Penix Jr.
I think Jaden Daniels climbs up the board.
Jaden Daniels is definitely, he's already climbing up the board. So as far as this mock draft goes, it has the Caleb Williams going number 1 to the Patriots. The Bears get Marvin Harrison Jr. Fashanu going to the Cardinals, which will be a really good pick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The second quarterback off the board is Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
So he's number 4 pick going to Washington, which I don't see why they will need a guy, but whatever. I think they already have that guy. But would that surprise you?
Yeah, because it sounds stupid.
Yeah, because you are Sam Howell's the dude, right?
I wouldn't go get. Yeah, I wouldn't. But Sam Howell isn't the biggest issue there. There's bigger issues elsewhere in Washington than there is QB.
Here's what they say. I know that Sam Howell is the Commanders QB and that he's been solid for year 2 and showing signs of real growth. But there's also a pretty good chance the new ownership is looking for a new coach, and the new coach is going to want their quarterback. No player improves this more than Jaden Daniels, who reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson.
No, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah. That's.
They're also saying that it's possible that they trade with the Giants and trade back.
Where the Giants at? What number 7. Are they at? 7?
7. Mm-hmm.
They're going from what 4 to 7? Was it?
Yep.
That's more reasonable. I think they do that.
I can see that, and then they go get Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe Alt is a great fit for the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame guy, tough nose. He's great. I think I like that pick for them. So. But then they have the Bears in between all that getting Dallas Turner out of Alabama. So you get your wide receiver
over
edge rusher. Yes, I know.
No.
Who'd you say over who?
It's too early for this. It's too early for all this madness. I don't want to be thinking about this. It's too early.
Once again, Alabama guys always rise a lot, especially if they do well in these next 2 games.
It's stupid.
They have the Giants taking Drake May.
I can see that.
Malik Neighbors going to the Saints. J.C. Latham going to the Titans. We got Michael Penix going to the Raiders.
Wait, who's picking up that Penn State O-line guy? What's his name? Fashanu? What was his name?
Fashanu?
Yes, Fashanu. He went 3rd to the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's the Cardinals.
This is all dumb. Nah, this is dumb.
Well, I think Arizona does need
Arizona could get a tackle. You're right there.
Yeah,
but
I think that works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right,
I mean, yeah,
it
doesn't sound too bad.
Says Kyler wants to play out of range for picking up his replacement. So Kyler just keeps on winning them games, win them another game.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Kyler can do that. He could play them out of that. Justin can't do that. Justin's stuck because the Carolina Panthers, I don't know if they can win a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It literally would take a team giving them a game for it to happen.
Yeah, but even if so, let's go back to Kyler. If Kyler even ends up doing this good, and they end up drafting his replacement, right? That'd be good for him. Now, I don't think anybody else would take on that contract,
Hell no.
but maybe there's a deal where the team will say, "Yeah, we can pay half of it, and you can pay the other half." Kind of like
Yeah,
what they did with Golf and
and
Stafford.
then yeah, okay.
That's a possibility, but again, both teams would have to agree to it.
And there's so many quarterbacks in this draft. That's what kind of makes me think that I don't know how you do that.
But how many of them are going to be the it guy?
I don't know.
3. I give you
don't
maybe
know.
2 or 3.
I don't like Caleb Williams. I don't like his size. I don't like the stuff he's made of. I just don't
Right.
like him. Drake May's interesting. He's gonna
I
be.
think Drake may ends up being stuck around for the NFL for a while.
Yeah, he's gonna be that mid range guy that just going to be around. Jay Daniels could be special.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking who might end up being probably more around than all the other ones.
I mean, as they say, Lamar Jackson type of skill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's interesting. But Michael Penix is also very interesting. Michael Penix always reminded me of like a Russell Wilson type of player.
Okay.
You know, you're not going to win because of him, but you can win with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's middle of the first round. If you could grab him at 12, 13, something like that, that's a win. That's definitely a win. Bo Nix, I don't think he's that guy. I honestly don't. But you know, some team is going to jump up and love him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably all you're going to get out of the first round.
More than likely. At least the first round is, but then the first round's going to be full of like offensive pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Cornerbacks and offensive tackles and wide receivers and quarterbacks, of course.
The skills position is what's going to be filled the first position or the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really interesting?
Mm-hmm.
They got Arizona taking Emeka Egbuka. Also.
Really?
Yeah. That's a good pick too. So if you get your offensive tackle and Egbuka, who I think is the number 1 receiver, that's interesting.
Because I see them taking Marvin Harrison, but if they get him, over Neighbors though, I feel like Neighbors would be a higher.
So Neighbors did go. So Neighbors went to the Saints at the number 9.
If Neighbors was Neighbors and
Olave. So Rome Odunze from Washington.
Mm-hmm. He
goes before him too. And then Keon Coleman from Florida State goes before him too. Egbuka he's the 5th wide receiver off the board.
Right. For the Bears, what scenario do you prefer? Do you draft support for Fields and keep Coach Eberflus, or clean house with the Bieniemy, Harbaugh, and let them pick a QB?
I interview both of those guys and do back channels and see if either one of those guys want Fields as their guy.
Yeah.
And if they do, I fire my Eberflus as fast as I can. I bring them in and keep Justin Fields there as soon as possible, because you want to build. No quarterback's going to be the end all be all, and I don't see a franchise changer in this draft. I see a guy that you could build with, but no guy who's, if Justin Fields is coming out in this draft, he will be first, second, or third, just like everybody else. And you don't have to pay him next year yet, and you can structure the contract to not pay him for 2 more years. So what's the holdup?
Mm-hmm. I personally want Harbaugh. Like, I want him like bad. I think he'll be a really good fit for Fields.
He's very smart. I think you trust him. You'll trust him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But Harbaugh is kind of hands off with his quarterback, so you'll still need an offensive mind. The enemy is very interesting with Justin Fields. He's creative. The enemy was able to let Pat Mahomes, they didn't just drop back. They let him be him.
Yeah.
He has room to let the tight ends find open spots in the zone. All those things work very well. You see when quarterback has freedom and knows they can do what they need to do, they succeed.
Any coach that's allowing their quarterback to develop on their own and then work around them is doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Because your offense is only going to be as good as your play of style of the players you have. So obviously with like T-Law is one of the greatest QBs still that I've seen coming out of college, and I still think he's going to be one of the greatest coming in. You can see it, but people forget that he can also run.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that, and I think what they're doing over there is kind of like developing still.
Do you think that they can let him run more? I always feel like they should open it up, and I think he gets hurt because he's not running.
And that's how it is with Fields. Fields runs more, so it's like there's a little bit more of a risk there.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the difference between these two is T-Law has weapons, Justin doesn't, and a better team.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
So it's like 1 and 2 can be the same with different skills and different assets, but
they've been following each other for years, right? Through high school, through college, they've been the same 1 and 2 everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could coach them very similarly, and they both are winners. So I love both of them.
Right.
And I was actually sad to see T-Law. I think he's out 2 or 3 weeks. I really do.
Yeah.
With that ankle injury.
Yeah, I know he might be. It's a high ankle sprain.
Yeah. Which is normal 4 to 6 weeks, but you're a football player.
There's a chance that he might come back 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Due to his position, but the problem is he's not going to be able to run. If he can't run, then he's not going to be as good as he usually is, but he's still probably better than the backup.
Oh, I think 80% of him is better than anyone else.
Yeah, so we might see him back there, but he's not going to be the same.
Do you think that this changes the division? Is it possible that the Texans or the Colts could jump up and just take this division out? With T-Law out.
I think the Jags are still going to be able to make it, but I think T-Law comes back probably for sure first round if they make playoffs. Like the first round, it would be T-Law, and depending on what kind of shape or form he is.
I think he's able to jump right in. I think he's that type of quarterback who could jump right in and be fine. Because you're definitely not playing him this week. You're not definitely not playing him.
That ankle's going to bother him. He's not going to be fine.
Well, Cleveland and Baltimore could both be losses.
Mm-hmm.
But then Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Tennessee, you can win all 3 of those games without him. So you could, put him in Carolina, win the game, put him in Tennessee so he knocks the rust off, and then go into the first round to pick the playoffs. All right, change the subject. Go back there. Save the places. I think keep Fields, clean house for the coaches for sure is the best path. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. And said T-Law lost a year and might have some habits from Urban Meyer's experience.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I was thinking that T-Law was going to come in this year and be a top 5 quarterback. I think he has top 5 quarterback skills.
Mm-hmm.
I think he reads the defense well. But something is slowing him down. And it seems like he's thinking so much and not reacting as much as he needs to. He already is a good quarterback. He already has all those skills, but something is slowing his stuff down. And it's not the receivers, and it's not the talent around him. It's something that's not.
They're still coming out with wins, though.
Yeah, no, they were if they would have won yesterday, they would have been the number 1 seed in the AFC.
He also would have been the number 1 quarterback with 14 wins coming out of last year.
Oh, I think he's the number 1 quarterback anyway.
No, but there's 13 there's QBs out there within their first, like, they've had 13 straight wins or something, or 13 wins. He was one of them. He would have been at 14 yesterday, but oh well.
I mean, think about that draft. This is what scares me about this draft coming up. Once again, we had T-Law and Justin Fields are the only ones holding on to their jobs, and T-Law's the only one that they say is a franchise quarterback. He's the only one. Everyone else is out. Everybody else.
The other QBs that were in that draft.
Yep.
Yeah, we're starting to see Mac and Cheese finally whittle out.
Yep.
Trey Lance never really had a chance.
I blame Mac and Cheese totally on Belichick not having an offensive coordinator his second year.
Yep.
I 100% blame him.
And then who was the other one? There was 5. Oh, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
He's done. He was never really a thing.
Yeah.
Do you believe that he was afraid to come back in the game? He doesn't want to be a starting quarterback anymore?
I believe it. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I think once he felt it, he was just like, "Hey, I'm good."
Yeah, but we'll see. These QBs coming in. I don't know how it's gonna affect. It depends on who takes what, really. Obviously, I think Patriots are gonna take one.
Yeah,
that's 100% sure. I think. I don't really think Washington should, but it sounds like they might. It's stupid.
I don't think they should at all. I
Who
think
else?
they found this guy. I don't think Arizona should. I think New York Giants definitely should.
They might.
The Raiders.
I think Tampa Bay might.
Oh, the Tampa Bay and the Raiders should both be looking at quarterback.
The Vikings.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
I'm looking at all these teams, and
what about your team, Atlanta? Should they be taking a guy, or should they just be looking for the guy the team that messes up and just pick up the next guy?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
like, I feel like we had something with Heineke, but we waited too long to put him in, and then he got hurt. But when he was in, you saw what was happening, right? Like the change in the locker room, the change in the way things were happening was different.
And you felt like you guys were going to win the division by a couple of games. I felt like
now, as soon as Ritter came back in, I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care, man. Like, I don't care. He's nothing. And I've never saw anything in him at all. I never did, and I don't think I ever will. And I've been saying that since day one. And you know how I don't hate the guy. He's just not him.
He's not the guy. Yeah, I say you're not him. That's it. So quarterback had Matt Patricia as OC. Who does that? Like, who makes a defensive guy your offensive coordinator?
Stupid. All I know is the Falcons, if they do end up getting a QB, it's going to hurt the rest of the team. They should go after a defense right now. Go get an edge because we're missing one. I know that's the main.
Know what they say they're going after? This draft has some JT Tuamalo. Aloha, whatever.
The Falcons?
Yeah, they had the Falcons grabbing him from Ohio State.
He's gonna fall that far?
Yeah, they say right now they have 18 or 19.
I don't know if he'll fall that far.
It's the quarterbacks and the offensive linemen and wide receivers. They have Brock Bowers dropping to 17.
That's crazy. No, I don't see.
Wow,
going that far.
I thought
what draft is this? Who are you looking at?
This is CBS.
So I think CBS had I was looking at a few different ones. CBS has them ranked at 4.
That's No, CBS.
Yeah, he's the 4th best prospect. Yeah,
And they got him going at 17.
That's
17
dumb.
to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I'm looking at the rankings and not the draft.
He's going to be the best tight end that ever was in college, and he's going 17.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's kind of.
They have him as the 4th best prospect.
Stupid.
Period.
Mhm.
That's stupid.
It's craziness.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to that nonsense. I'm not. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the best tight end that ever was coming out of college is coming out next year, and he's going to be in the middle draft.
And
And
he
he's
would have been top
10.
5. He would have been top 5 pick the last 2 years.
He has to be top 10.
Jeez. Yeah, I agree. Even I'm looking at the rankings, just tight ends. It is Bowers at 4. The next best one is Stover at 67 from Ohio State. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
anything,
that's
he
crazy.
should go to the Jets.
The Jets are getting offensive linemen. That's happening.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to find a tight end for years, and they still can't.
They got Joe Alt going to the Jets.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, some teams, you actually talked about this. This is the point where you're trying to decide, are you done with your season? Are you looking at the draft? Or are you pushing for the playoffs? And that's the whole idea. Are you in the hunt or not? So I hope the Bears are in the hunt because I want us to win 8 games. That's why I would say 7 or 8 games. 8 games is really that cap. We win 8 games, Justin Fields stays. I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, there's going to be a lot of questions.
I think he stays. I've been reading more and more insider, leaks and stuff that they want to keep him no matter what.
It's because he has a great relationship with the GM and the new president.
And the president, yeah,
He should stay, to be honest.
yeah, which is good on him. You know, being smart is like you get buddy with, but also he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback that just needs a coach to be able to mold him properly.
A coach that's willing to coach his style.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' record right now?
4-8.
Mm-hmm.
And the next 5 games are,
yeah.
If they beat Detroit, they're winnable.
Do you remember what we said their wins
7.
was?
7.5.
You looked at that? No, it's 7 on the dot.
7 on the okay.
7.
And it's good. 7 is a very good number, honestly.
It might, yeah.
Now you got me looking at everything we got.
What's really interesting, if you get a chance to look at the playoff rankings, and we in the chat said San Francisco, and me and you said Eagles, and looks like the chat might be right.
Yeah. So I'm looking here. We have Dolphins at 9. So if for us to hit that one, they would have to lose every single thing after.
They'll have to. Someone has to get hurt. That's the only way that happens.
We have the Bills at 10, and they're at 6 right now. We have the Jets at 10, and they're at 4 right now.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
We have the Patriots at 7, and they're at 2 right now.
Yeah, I don't see another win coming.
Yeah.
That's got to be the biggest surprise for me. Is
the one that could happen is the Bills, maybe. Because they're at 6 right there. And
Mark says he said 49ers too.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
Lucky. You didn't know they'd go get Chase Young.
So we have we have AFC North. The Ravens at 9.5. We have them at 9. They're at 9 right now.
Yep.
The Steelers at 10. They're at 7. The Browns at 9.5. They're at 7. And the Bengals we put at 10.5, and they're at 6. These are all still possibilities, except for maybe the Ravens. Just because they're
not going to lose
9.
all the games. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
But we
AFC
did say
South.
it's possible that all 4 of those teams be right there in contention for the playoffs.
Yeah, AFC South though. Here's our only one possibility right now. We have Jaguars at 12. They are at 8. Okay, that's a possibility.
Not with Trevor Lawrence out.
Yeah, no, T-Law
Well,
out.
yeah, but I
get
mean,
close.
you never know.
No, but Tennessee, Carolina, Tampa Bay are all wins. They can
Damn,
win
that's
those
what,
3.
11?
Right.
And if they beat either Cleveland or Baltimore in the next 2 weeks, that's 12.
Right. I don't think they'll beat those teams. We'll see.
You never know with Cleveland. Joe Flacco, which one's going to show up?
The rest of the squad, we put 4.5 or 4, and they're at 7, 7, and 4. So that division kind of surprised us. And then AFC West.
Well, to my defense, I said the Texans were going to be good. I said they're going to be a lot better, but even me, but better. I thought 7.
They're at 7 now. AFC West, we have 13. The Chargers at 10. The Broncos at 9.
Wow, the Broncos
and
going to hit.
The Raiders at 6.5.
The
So
Broncos going to hit.
the Broncos could hit. The Raiders could hit. The Chargers could.
Their coach is so bad. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs could hit at 13. That's all the AFC teams. NFC, that's another. We could do that too if you want, but
Yeah, I want to hear it.
okay.
A couple minutes, why not?
NFC East. We said Eagles 14.
That's possible.
Giants and Cowboys at 8.
Giants
I don't know.
there.
I don't know what the hell we were thinking about Giants. I don't know. And the Commanders at 4.5.
Well, they're
Currently,
at 4 right now.
We have Eagles at 10. Could be a hit. The Cowboys overpassed what we had. The Giants at 4, and we have 8, and then the Commanders at 4.
I think the Commanders win one more game.
If they win one more game, that would be basically a hit for us.
Yeah,
that's 4.5.
I think they hit. I think they get 5. So I think we get two of those teams we get in that division.
Yeah. So NFC North, we have the Lions at 11.5, Vikings at 8.5, the Bears at 7, and the Green Bay Packers at 5. Currently, the Lions are at 9.
Yep.
The Vikings are at 6. The Packers are at 6, and the Bears at 4.
I think all but what Green Bay can be hit in that division.
Right. Because they already exceeded what we thought.
Yeah. I think they get 8.
That's possibly. NFC South.
Ugh.
Falcons at 8 we have. They're currently at 6, so that could hit.
That looks good.
The Saints at 6.5. And they're at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So they win another 2 games, maybe. The Panthers, we said 6, and they're at 1.
1, and they're not hitting anything else.
So that was a really bad one. And the Buccaneers, we were at 3.5. They're currently at 5.
And they're probably going to finish the year with 5 or 6,
maybe. And then last but not least, the NFC West was probably the craziest one, but kind of sort of.
Oh yeah, because the Rams have 6 wins already,
and we put them at 2.
Yeah,
damn.
And then the Cardinals we put at 3, and they currently have 3.
Which I think they win another one. What's up, Rasta?
Right. And then Seattle we put at 10, and they're currently at 6. And then
I think
the
Niners
Niners
win some more games.
And the Niners we at 12.5, and they're currently at 9.
Is it crazy that they might go over 12.5? I don't see a team that could beat them. The only way they lose is if they lose themselves. That's just it.
I don't know. But it's all these are so far we're almost pretty damn close to what we thought. Some of them are just like 2 or 3 of them are just way off, just because nobody thought that they were going to be that good. or that horrible. Like, I didn't think the Panthers were going to be this bad.
I did. I was arguing about this. I thought that they were going to be awful, but I think that
thought
was
the
my
defense would
fandom.
show up. Kind of like what the Browns are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what the Panthers were going to be this year, with the defense carrying them. Because that defense, it's so much talent on it, but they can't keep up if they're tired.
And they
That's
also
the
get
issue.
It's the injuries too.
That too, but the offense is just after
awful.
Yeah, but you can't tell me after week 5, go into the bye week, that you didn't think that, okay, this team could potentially be something.
See, I didn't think they could beat the Bears. I thought the Bears were the worst team on their schedule, and I didn't think they were going to beat the Texans, honestly, but they did. So Bryce Young is going to take a year to really develop. I think that's what's going to end up being.
It's going to take a whole lot of. You're going to need to get better weapons and a line, and you can't expect him to do much.
They don't have a first round pick. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know. It's still a lot of football left, regardless of fantasy or not. And this is still kind of crazy to see how well teams are doing. I really want to see the Jags make it, but the problem is with T-Law gone, I don't see how.
That's going to be huge. T-Law being out, I mean, all that talent there, it won't matter. Just because not having him, he's the thing. He's just the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, he was like what the Jets had, in the canon. Rodgers was there for them. It's the same situation that's going with the Jags.
Yep.
Without him, they got nobody else. Zach Wilson can't do it for him. Who the hell is behind? I didn't even watch that. Like who's I couldn't after that. Who was after T-Law?
There's Zach Wilson too, right? Oh, so who's the backup?
No,
backup for T-Law?
I didn't even check. I was like, nope, I'm done. I couldn't watch anymore.
I know he was doing decent.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to go far now. They might win 3 games, but that's if T-Law pushes through and he just refuses to run. He's going to stay in the pocket because he's not going to be able to run with the high ankle sprain.
You can't. I don't know if you can even put. He had to be carried off the field.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. But for him in his position, he can still do his position. He just cannot run. He is going to be a pocket passer. He's going to throw it or get hit. He's got 2 options. He's going to throw it or get hit. That's that.
You can't do that against Cleveland. You don't.
No, of course not. They got Cleveland next week, right?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to put him in.
2 years. No,
you take that loss.
Cleveland and the Ravens. You just say no.
Take that loss.
We're not going to do those.
Take that loss too, but the other ones you need T-Law back because T-Law can probably be pretty decent against the other 3.
I agree, and they should win. Just been being 50%, 60% T-Law should win.
It's better than anybody else they got in the roster. Who else is floating around there? Like
CJ Beathard, whatever.
Oh yeah, CJ Beathard. Yeah, I forgot about. He used to be a Niner.
So that he's their backup right now.
He was okay. He came in as he was all right.
He did okay when T-Law got hurt too. So
he was also okay when Jimmy G went down as well. When Jimmy G went down, he was the guy, and he did pretty good.
If T-Law comes back in 2 weeks, they have a chance to win the division. If he misses 1 more week, the Texans can really put some heat on them.
But that's what we're saying. You take these next 2 losses or something, or because he's not going to be able to play.
Yeah, he can't.
But in the 3rd week, it might feel a little bit better. He's just not going to be able to run. You can't run a high ankle sprain. I don't care what you are, who you are.
You can't push off on a high ankle sprain. You can't play basketball. You can't do nothing. You can barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ross said, happy last week of fantasy. Some folks not setting lineups next week. Gotta wait till next year.
Yeah.
Wow, it's week 14, guys. It's week 14.
It's a whole lot of gang of mess.
Yeah, one more question. Tell me, guys, is Roshan taking over this backfield? Not this year.
He should have a long time ago. He should have.
He's the most complete.
You know what this is? This is a Javonte Williams situation.
I can see that. That's actually
when Javonte came in, and we all saw it, but the Broncos didn't. This is exactly how the Bears are treating it.
Well, they're playing him. He's in for pass protection.
I'm not saying he's as good as him. I'm just saying that. But same similar situation.
He's in for pass protection. He's in for pass catching, and then he's in for every other run. They see Khalil can't catch the ball. He's explosive but can't catch the ball, and he can't do anything without David Montgomery. He's that guy would need David. And Deontay Foreman is good, but he's always going to be hurt. That's just what he is. He runs too angrily. He's always going to be hurt. Yep. So eventually, Roshan is going to take over everything. It's just probably right in time for no one to be able to use him fantasy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next week. But
I don't know. But all I know is this week, people should be playing regardless if you're not making it or not. Because you can be that guy to disrupt a certain playoff team going.
Keep the integrity of the league, guys.
Yeah, why not? Like, I have a chance to lower Brian's seed in the builder blocks. I knew after week 2 I was out.
Yeah.
Like, I've accepted that. So I was just, I'm in that position where I can change the seeding on how that happens.
I don't know
if I could ruin Brian's week this week, I'll be okay with that.
I don't know if anyone
else you ruined my week last week.
Points.
Yes, I did.
I've scored. I just had the worst luck. I scored more points than anybody else in the entire league. I just have bad luck.
I knocked Tank out from potentially being in the playoffs. He needs to win this week.
You have
to. I know.
He'd be a little bit more comfortable, but now he has to win this week in order to get in.
He has the second most points in the builder box, right behind me.
No, I think third. No, yeah,
you have second.
Yeah. So that's the thing, though.
Oh, you're third. You're right. You're third.
Don't just stop.
Because Iron Man Jones has more.
Because after what's going to happen after that? So after this week, priority goes to the lower ranking seed of the draft. In the playoffs, the last 4 don't do much until after everyone's done. So they just won't get anything after that. So but no, at least in that league. As for your other leagues, I'm telling you guys, don't stop playing. Even if you don't make playoffs, just keep playing. You can have bragging rights in the losers bracket as well. What I like to do is, if I'm ever in the losing brackets, whoever I'm placing that week, I'm like, hey, I'll bet you another $100 or something. I beat you this week or something. Make it worth your while. Why not? Like, don't. Maybe you'll get your money back for fantasy football in that single week.
That's a good plan.
Why not? That's what I do every year.
I just want to win. I like winning.
Exactly.
Even though everything in me tells me I need to be tanking, I like winning.
Well, you don't understand. Yeah.
Everything in me says, Brian, you should be tanking. And there's a way to tank. And I'm looking at it like, but this guy's better.
I don't understand this, man.
It's hard.
His first year's free, and I told him, you need to tank.
Yeah, because I need to get a high draft pick position.
And instead, he doesn't tank. And he's...
So wait, who has the highest draft pick right now?
G-Money. No, G-Money doesn't, because Javi gets it. Because
Javi gets it. Yeah, because he traded his first last year to him. So guess what? That first is still to Javi because he has his first.
Yep.
But James is down here. It's kind of like the similar situation with the Bears and the Panthers.
Exactly.
James is the Panthers. Javi's the Bears. He gets his first.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good Javi does, he's still the first pick.
Right.
So where are you at right now? You gotta be at the bottom somewhere, right?
No, so I was bad this past last 2 weeks. So I went from 5th to 10th, I believe. And that's why I should be just tanking. But I literally
Yeah.
could win 2 weeks and then make it back to 6, but I don't need to. And it's
Yeah.
hard for me to realize I just need to just let it happen.
Yeah, exactly how you gotta be spoiler. But happy to play clinch playoffs in 6 and my 7 paid leagues. Exactly. The first is the tanking rebuild team, and I'm getting Caleb or Harrison, so that's the win team.
That's
yeah.
a win. That's
Mhm.
man.
Like, and then that's
Marvin
the
Harrison. Ooh, well,
that's the beauty of Dynasty, though. Like,
I didn't think
even if
that.
you're losing, you're winning.
winning.
However, if you still have your first, if you don't, then you're literally just gonna wait there for 2 years.
You're screwed.
I need to just let it go.
So we are planning a trip up north to deliver the toilet bowl. Because I told him from the get-go. I told him, and if you can see in our league, I'm like, hey, start planning on where you want it. Like before the season started, before the season started, I told him, start planning where we're gonna meet you at because you're getting the toilet bowl. He hasn't won a freaking game. Not a single week he's won. And I told him again.
He's awful. No,
He goes, I'm not getting it. All I have to do is win one, but you haven't won one yet, guy.
dude, it's so bad. His team is awful.
Just bad.
It's
He hasn't
awful.
won one game.
No.
No.
Because he traded way too many stuff and assets that he's such a redrafter. So it's easy. He's not thinking dynasty. He's thinking redraft.
Yeah.
So now he's stuck in this position where he's like he has to rebuild, but I think he's starting to learn how important draft picks are. Where in the past he never did that. He traded them out like candy, and then he got all these old dudes. I'm like, dude, you lost your opportunity. He did. He pulled a Rams and traded all for 1 year to win, but unfortunately he didn't win. He lost.
Yep.
So he's stuck in this situation
ever since.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
That's your future team right there, man. I'm telling you. If he gets kicked out, Tank, you're gonna have to take care of it.
So what do you have to do to get kicked out?
If you get the toilet bowl 3 times back to back to back,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You kicked.
that's so
You
impossible.
know how hard it is to be the
That's
worst team.
Impossible.
Oh
to do.
no, I have a guy in my old league. We played. I think we
Is that
played
a redraft league though?
It's a redraft league.
That don't count. No,
But man, every year he went from last place to last place to last place 3 years in a row, won it all, and then got last place again. I
that's
was like,
just
what?
bad. That's just bad, man.
That means you're just a bad
Yeah.
player. That's all that
That's
is.
just bad.
Yeah,
man.
he's bad at it.
All
Yeah.
right.
But no-
We've
Well,
gone
wait.
an hour and out past my 75-minute time limit. So I'm calling it. This is it. We have fun. If you guys want to join our conversation more, we're on a Dynasty Pylon tomorrow. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I get to argue with Martin. I get to listen to Mark say, yeah, both you guys got good points, and he stay in the middle. So it's kind of like this, but it's going to be a lot of fun because we get to Gridiron Heights and all that other stuff. So I cannot wait till tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Come join us. What time are you doing it, Martin?
6 Mountain Standard Time.
All right. So
Figure
7
it out.
Central, 8 Eastern.
There you go.
So
5,
let's have
6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8. Had a lot of fun with you guys. Great questions. Martin, thanks for jumping in. Tank, thanks for coming in a little late, but you made it. Thanks for everyone listening. And we will see you guys next week. Hopefully after a Bears win against here on this channel. We'll see them next week. And then we'll also see them Wednesday and Sunday. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening. See ya.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive.